guys, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom Airsoft. It's good to see you again. If it's your first time here, as always, it is good to see you and I hope you're going to stick around. Okay, well, today I thought we'd have a change of scenery for our weekend video. We'll try and do a fair quick one today. Just going to have a look at a couple of bits and pieces here. So, as many of you know, if you do follow the channel already, you'll know that I always do a midweek upload, usually on a Wednesday. Normally would be a gameplay video, but at the moment, as many of you know, I'm out of action, so I'm having to do 2 studio videos a week, and we'll get back to our normal midweek gameplays as soon as I'm back on the field, which will hopefully be sooner rather than later. With regard to our weekend videos, we discuss everything Airsoft. So if you've been following my series of videos and you haven't subscribed yet, then do get subscribed to the channel and you won't miss any of my uploads. Helps us out, helps us grow. Hopefully we can get this channel bigger. So, with that out of the way, what are we going to have a look at today? Well, like I say, we're in a change of scenery. We're in my little man cave, as I call it. Well, hidey hole, whatever you want to call it. My little den, where I keep all my stuff. And I thought we'd have a look at a few things today. Now, what I'm mainly focusing on with this video is I wanted to have a look at... Replica isn't the right word, because in Airsoft, everything we use is a replica in a sense. All of our replica guns, as it were, they're all replicas of real steel, usually. Some are bespoke to Airsoft, but the majority are replica of a real steel weapon. Now, in the case of some of the stuff in Airsoft that I would say is a replica, it will sometimes be referred to as dummy, so it doesn't actually do anything, it's non-functional, or it replicates something in the real steel world much cheaper, which would normally be much more expensive, but may serve a purpose in Airsoft. So let's go through that then. Well, the first thing I think we'll look at, we'll move these out of the way here. The first thing we'll look at is pet boxes. These are dummy pet boxes, as you'll often see them referred to. Basically a replica pet box, but non-functional. So on these pet boxes, there's no function to them. They don't have a working laser, they don't have a working torch, they basically don't serve any purpose as a pet would. You know, you can get them in various designs. They're very affordable. This particular one here was from Newpro. I think you can pick one of these up for between 12 and 15 British pounds. This one, I think again, goes up to about £20 maximum. Now, in Airsoft, they could serve 2 purposes. And I'm looking at today whether it's worth you getting these things and what's your take on these things. Let me know in the comments what you think, whether you agree, whether you prefer to have functional items. You know, we all have different outlooks in Airsoft and different loadouts. Now, these pet boxes serve a purpose because they're actually a battery box. You can unscrew, for example, this part here, which is just a screw, and when you unscrew this screw, which I actually use this one as a battery box. So when you take that screw out, the end comes off, and if you can make that out on camera, there's a big empty cavity. So if you wanted to relocate your battery into there and rewire into there, there's a slot at the back there to allow batteries to go in, and then that would serve as a battery box. Obviously quite a bit of space in that one. And this one is just the same. This one has a removable cover here at the back where you can put batteries in there and use it as a battery box. Or if you're storing anything you might want to in there. But primarily people tend to use them for externally mounting batteries for their AEGs. Now, they do serve another purpose, in that, to me, and my personal opinion, is it looks really cool. I mean, up close, it isn't going to look as realistic as a functional pet box, but from a distance and when it's mounted to your replica, it certainly looks the part. And what I tend to do is, if I just want a particular look on one of my replicas when I'm playing on the field, I'll mount this one because it is very light. They come in tan, black. You know, they do look the part. You get sticker sets so you can make them look more realistic. You know, so they are very functional from an aesthetics point of view, and they don't weigh anything. So that, because unlike a functional one that would add a little bit of weight to the front end of your replica, this adds nothing. It's basically weightless. It's just plastic, so it doesn't weigh anything. So if you're wanting to have the look of a pet box, but you're not really bothered about the function of a pet box, well, for 12 British pounds that you could pick one of these up for, it's worth it in my opinion, because it looks cool. Now if you're not into that and you'd rather have functional things, then you can get functional pecs. I have got a functional pec, I did a review on one. But you know, I very rarely run that on a replica out in the field where I play in woodland, and obviously lasers aren't particularly liked on the site, so I don't tend to use them. However, these dummy ones or replica ones, I put them on my replicas all the time because, you know, I just think they look cool. And this particular one, because it's got a lot of space for batteries, I use this on my MP5 replica to give me more space to mount a battery, and then I don't have to faff about putting the battery into the handguard section. However, you know, you do have to do a bit of rewiring work to make that an option, but it is an option for you. So that's replica pec boxes. You know, they are a replica item. They don't do the function that the original pec would be designed to do, but they do have uses in Airsoft. So as a newer player, if you're on a limited budget, or if you're after a particular look and you can't quite stretch to a real pec, which would cost you a lot of money, or even an Airsoft functional pec, which might cost you around about 50 to 60 British pounds, then consider maybe a dummy pec, just for the look, for the time being. It will look cool for you. So that's pec boxes. Now, the next thing is that a lot of people like to mount to the replicas for the look, because, you know, we are focusing on things that are just for the look, as it were, which is a big thing in Airsoft. As you know, I'm the same. We all like to look tactical. So looking at this next item, here we have a replica EOTech. It's not a real EOTech by any stretch of the imagination. This one, I think I picked this one up for around about 30 British pounds. Now, to me, I might be a little bit biased on this opinion. I know a lot of people like to have real steel sights and decent optics on the replicas, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But me personally, when I play, I don't really use the optic. As many of you know, I tend to follow the path of where my BBs are going, unless I'm sniping, and I do have a decent telescopic sight for my sniper rifles. I do tend to use a scope on those, and I do attempt some form of zeroing on those scopes, so I do aim down sights. But when I'm using an AEG, when I'm running and gunning as I call it, I tend to simply mount a sight just for the look. Now, this replica EOTech is functional. You do get a holographic image in there. You can aim with it with both eyes open. As to the accuracy of it, I'm not sure. I would imagine that it's nowhere near as robust or as accurate as the real steel EOTech, or indeed a more expensive one. But as I say, for 30 British pounds, it certainly looks the part. It doesn't really look much different than one of my friends at Airsoft has a genuine EOTech, and you can't really tell a huge amount of difference between the two, apart from, you know, when you get really close to them and have a good examine. But if you just want the look of an EOTech on your replica, or if you just want the look of any particular sight, you can get replica sights on sites such as eBay and on your local Airsoft supplier. They will have these types of sights, red dot sights, various types of telescopic sight that, you know, possibly wouldn't be the best for a real steel firearm, obviously dealing with recoil and holding zero and that type of thing. But in Airsoft, especially if you don't really use your red dot sight particularly, then, you know, a replica is absolutely fine. They're not dummy, they are functional, they do something, but again, they're not real steel. So, you know, your results may vary with them. But for 30 British pounds, I've had this one for a number of years. It still works. As far as I can tell, it does hold zero, and it's reasonably accurate. Certainly with red dot sight with quick target acquisition. As holographic, it's more of a red dot, but it does look the part, you know. So yeah, if you're after sights and you're more after optics for your replicas based on a particular look, or an image that you're going for, just to make your replica look a bit more finished off, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going for a replica sight. Just remember that if you're only paying between 20 and 30 British pounds for a sight, it's maybe not going to have the quality of the ones that you see in the movies, or the ones that some of your friends might run if they're running, you know, reputable brand, mainstream, real steel sights. So that's another item to consider for for dressing up your replica a little bit, making it look a little bit nicer. Yes, it's a replica. Don't worry too much about this part. That's so that the lens doesn't get shot out on it. That's a shield that I've put in there. But yeah, 30 British pounds. I'm more than happy with it. You can get all different designs of EOTech, all different designs of red dots. Have a shop around, and if you want to get a cheap sight, to be honest, nobody's really going to know the difference on the field, apart from yourself, unless, of course, you've given a good examine of it. But there you go. So that's something that, not a dummy parts like these, does work. But again, I would class it as a replica of a real steel item. So that's something to consider. And then the last thing that we're coming to here. Now this could be classed as very frivolous. And I will be honest with you, I only bought this particular item for photographs, for taking photos. As you can see, it comes in a nice hard case box, really nice box. These are FMA Replica night vision. So you get the case there, and you get the night vision. Now, they are made out of polymer and metal, so they certainly weigh the same. Well, maybe not quite the same, but they weigh quite a lot. You get the mounting systems that you would get with the real steel. You get all the mounting options here that you get with the real steel. Everything you would expect to mount a set of these to your helmet that you'd have with a real steel pair of night vision goggles, you get with these FMA ones. And as you can probably tell, they look very realistic. There's glass in the lenses, you've got lens covers on there, adjustable just like the real thing. There's even a compartment for the batteries to go in. So as far as anyone was concerned, they look pretty much like the real thing. Substantially cheaper than the real thing. Not something I'm likely to get on the channel is night vision, because obviously we try and do things affordably here, and well, you're talking thousands of pounds for decent night vision as far as I'm aware, and that's not something that I could stretch to. However, you can get a set of these for around about 50 British pounds. Now, important to remember is I only bought these for doing photos because they look cool in photos. However, if you're going for a particular look or loadout on the airsoft field and you're happy to have the weight of a set of these, you know, on your fast helmet or whatever you mount them to, then yeah, by all means. You know, I know people at my home site at Tazball that do run dummy night vision optics because it looks cool, and a lot of airsoft is all about looking cool, isn't it? You know, it's all the tactical. I personally wouldn't wear these in a game because it's too much weight, and as you know, I would normally have a GoPro mounted on my helmet so that I can do some gameplay videos. But yeah, I mean, if you, especially in photos, reenactments, anything like that, if you're looking to do a particular loadout, then, you know, there's nothing wrong with getting a set of these Replica NVGs. They are superbly well made. I was really impressed with them when I got them. They're metal, they're heavy, they move like they should, they adjust like they should, and when they're mounted to the helmet, they look just like the real thing. You can even get a dummy battery pack for them and lead, so that you've got the battery pack on there to the back of your head for the counterbalance weights as well. You can pretty much get everything to make your fast helmet look like it's mounted with real NVGs. So yeah, about 50 British pounds, that will get you into some fake NVGs that come in a really nice hard case, if nothing else, and they certainly look the part. So there we go. That's just a quick introduction to some of the dummy items, if you like, that you can get in Airsoft, or replicas of items you can get in Airsoft. Obviously we use, you know, replica weaponry, so why not use other replica kit as well? You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if that's something that you want to do for a loadout, then don't be put off when people are telling you that, oh, you're better off with the real thing and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with dummy items, nothing wrong with these replica sights. If you want something with accuracy and something that's more robust, then yeah, you might want to spend a little bit more money and go for a quality optic. But if it's just for the look, like it is with me, then, you know, these knockoff ones, as you call them, for about 30 British pounds are absolutely fine. And at a push, they will work for you. And as I say, the PEC boxes, there's all sorts of stuff like this. I'm just using these as an example, but if you want to get something that's fake, if you like, it's not functional, it's just a replica item that looks good, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's all part of looking tactical. But remember, you know, these items, they don't do anything as such. They might not improve your game apart from making you look a bit cooler, which is fine as well. So I hope you found that interesting. I know it was only a bit quick, short one this weekend, but I thought, you know, we'd cover that. I've not shown off some of the replica stuff I've got. I've got loads more of this kind of stuff, so if you want to see more of these kind of things, then let me know. Or if you want in-depth reviews of the fake MVGs or any of these sites, or indeed, you know, the PEC boxes or anything like that, I did do a full review of the functional PEC box, but I mean, if you want a review of any of these dummy items, you know, then absolutely let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to do those for you. But if you have any questions about any of this stuff, or if you have any comments for me, then just pop a comment below. I'll always respond to a comment. I might not get back to you straight away, but I will always respond. And if you did want any more from myself, then you can find Rock Bottom Airsoft on Facebook and Instagram. There's pictures, discussions, things like that on there. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. And obviously, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of my uploads. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next one.